Coronation! Procession! Quick march!
The 7 regiments of the British Army's Household Division have a job like no other.
Everyone happy? Yes, Corporal!
Their sworn duty is to protect the monarch and the royal family.
The defence of the realm, that's essentially our #1 job.
21 Alpha, 21 Bravo.
They're both frontline soldiers and masters of tradition.
You're not closing up on the far side!
You definitely know they're coming, don't you?
Yes.
Come on, get off the horse!
We go behind closed doors during one of the most challenging periods in its illustrious history.
It's a bit crazy trying to speak to everybody when there's so many people on the streets, but, you know, that is London.
Following them on overseas operations and getting ready for war.
The idea is to rev the troops up till they are seething with anger.
At the same time as delivering the biggest national celebrations in generations, including the King's Coronation.
We've got to get a move on. The Gold State coach is in danger of stopping, and that's mission failed.
And his first trooping of the colour.
To some people it will seem absolutely ridiculous, but there is nothing that fills you with as much pride.
Quick march!
This is the King's Guard. It's another critical day for the soldiers of the Household Division. In this unique year of ceremonial operations, the next one is fast approaching. Trooping the colour is one of the British Army's proudest traditions, watched by millions across the world. First staged in 1748, the spectacular annual parade celebrates the sovereign's official birthday.
Everything's got to be exact. We want it to be a brilliant parade. It needs to be perfect. And it's as close as we get to a national day.
And this year, the stakes are especially high, as it will be King Charles's first as monarch.
Today is the first time that we've got everybody together in terms of the foot guards that are going to troop the colour and the mass bands, 240 musicians. So an interesting afternoon ahead.
Trooping the Colour takes place on Horse Guards Parade in St James's Park. Today is the first rehearsal at this historic venue, once used by Henry VIII for jousting tournaments. The man in charge is Garrison Sergeant Major Vern Stokes.
It is essentially the choreography, which is quite tricky today. It's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of confusion. We get a couple of lost musicians in the middle of it, but they're all getting used to where they should be now.
Do not close it up on the far side!
Okay, so 6 and 5 guard out of step.
Fozzie, you should be on this line here, mate. There's your marker over there.
With 4 weeks to get ready, Vern and Drill Sergeant Matthew Davies don't like what they're seeing.
Keep that gap, make sure you keep that gap. Get your dress in by the right now.
It's just a case of getting everybody to understand the sequence, right down to minute details. It's then a case of me clearly identifying those specific mistakes.
Get your dress in now.
And then just informing all parties that this is where we're at, this is what we need to do.
Put these right arms in, gentlemen. Pin them in nice and tight.
But many of the guards are learning the complex routine for the first time.
It's a big learning curve. It's much more difficult, it's much more intense, a lot more pressure. It's King's first troop, so we want to go right, really.
Keep that gap tight, Langley, keep the gap.
The escort's stepping really short for some reason, really, really short.
The chaotic rehearsal has shown Vern a major change of plan is needed.
There was lots of things that were going wrong. We've identified quite a lot of points. As you look a bit sharper into the detail, you can see more areas that need to be worked on as well. So we're going to take a break from Horse Guards tomorrow, We're going to split resources again, and it's really just driving into the detail now. We'll get better.
Getting 1,800 guards and musicians ready is just part of the challenge. Trooping the colour also includes over 200 horses and riders from the household cavalry. But at the Coronation, one of their drum horses almost ruined the parade.
This is Atlas. He's the biggest horse we have in the cavalry. He got a little bit of fame because he got seen sidestepping down the mall. If something scares them, they have to express themselves in some form of body language to let us know. But he's a freight train, you know, he's a big old boy. Just over a ton of horse in the middle of London can pose a high risk.
With Atlas dropped from trooping the colour, the cavalry are pinning all their hopes on an untested replacement.
Good girl. This is Willow Rose. She's one of the newest drum horses that we've got. Sometimes they are not ready and they need a bit more time, a bit more practice.
Drummer Lance Corporal Chris Diggle has had to fast-track Willow Rose's training.
We put the drums on and see how they take with the drums on the back. But then sometimes it could be the vibrations that go through, could upset them, things like that. It can be a balance issue sometimes, working it out for herself, how to walk with the distribution of two drums going either side on the top.
Warrant Officer Dan Evans must decide if she's ready to replace Atlas for trooping the colour.
What we need to watch, she's still a little bit wobbly, so let's make sure she's not doing any silly turns. So let's hear what they sound like together and see how she reacts.
The two drum horses lead the division's 60-strong mounted band. If Willow Rose misbehaves, it could derail the entire procession. So Dan must be sure she can cope.
If she's moving or adjusting herself, she might be slightly uncomfortable, might be slightly nervous. But what we want is a relaxed frame where she's carrying herself well, she's carrying the drum, so all 4 feet on the ground. And the same again, she's not even flinching. A few more exercises and we'll be able to make a decision from there, really.
The final, crucial test is if Willow Rose can stay in time with the other drum horse, Apollo, on a public street.
So you can see she still starts slow. A lot of good habits, but some bad habits as well.
Dan has seen enough.
You definitely know they're coming, don't you? Yeah. She is looking very good. What we don't want to do is when she starts, don't push her too much as well.
Yes, sir.
And then she'll be the horse for trooping the colour. OK, so congratulations, Willow.
Good, sir, thank you.
No pressure, Corporal Diggle.
None at all, sir. I've never ridden a horse on her first ceremony before, so it is a new experience.
But next, Willow Rose will face an even bigger test. Her first full rehearsal.
Arms, let's get your arms up in the centre. Number 5 guard.
Trooping the colour is less than 4 weeks away.
Don't let it drift away on the left-hand flank.
After a poor public rehearsal, and with time running out to nail the routine, today, the foot guards are practising behind closed doors.
So those 6 paces, make sure they're fucking good paces on the left form, because all you're doing is you're making it tight for them. You've got all this fucking space. We've still got the issue of individuals not quite understanding it, even though, you know, the company sergeant majors have been telling them non-stop for the last 4 or 5 weeks what's required. Guy in F company behind the company commander, in the centre, toes downwards and outwards, I can see him.
Keeping them on their toes is Drill Sergeant Matthew Davies. He joined the Army 22 years ago looking for a new start.
I was in and out of trouble with the police. When I did go to the careers office, they told me to come back in like 18 months' time because of the sort of criminal record I had. So 18 months' time I went back and then obviously joined the Welsh Guards. You know, I always knew I was going to be doing time at Her Majesty's pleasure, but it was just, do I want to get paid for it or don't I, you know?
Escort to the colour.
The 5 foot guard regiments traditionally take turns leading the parade. This year, it will be the Welsh Guards, the last to be formed in 1915, presenting their regimental colour to the King. Performing this historic role, known as the Ensign, is 23-year-old Second Lieutenant Freddie Hopkinson.
We did a drill competition in which we did 2 different drill sequences, and from that, I was chosen on the day. To be the ensign on His Majesty the King's first birthday parade is a real honour. So basically, this is the battalion's colour. It has all the battle honours that we've been awarded since 1915. So starting off with Lewes, all the way up to the Falkland Islands in 1982. The historical significance of the colour is it would be used as a rally point on a battlefield. If they needed to regroup, they'd regroup around the colour. It's basically the physical representation of the battalion, so it's very important to us.
Matthew is keeping a close eye on Freddie's technique.
His drill needs to be immaculate. When he's carrying the colour, it needs to be carried correctly.
Freddie is the latest in a long line of ensigns who must master a drill unchanged for centuries.
There's a sequence where I have to put my sword away, which in a tunic isn't the easiest thing in the world. Also, not being able to look at your scabbard makes it a little bit more difficult. But fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong.
It's not just the colour bearer under pressure. With the division's reputation on the line, the entire parade must be spaced and timed to perfection.
Strike! 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 Away! More than 6 guard, better!
It just shows that the British military still got traditions and discipline, and, you know, we're not some ragtag military that just won't follow orders, you know. If you've got people that won't follow orders, then in the face of the enemy, they're just going to down weapons and run away, and that's, you know, certainly not what we need.
After over 4 hours of practice, Matthew is finally starting to see results.
We're probably at around 75% of where I'd want to be, you know. We're going to squeeze these individuals now for everything they got.
Ceremonial operations are only part of the household division's remit. They're also elite, frontline troops ready to respond to any future conflict.
Good, right.
On Salisbury Plain, these cavalry soldiers are about to tackle the final test of an intensive 4-month course.
Yeah, got it.
Determined to become tank commanders, specialising in armoured reconnaissance.
At 21 Alpha, 20 Alpha, send assessment over.
The instructor in charge is Captain Archie Thornton Berry.
A commander's job is they're responsible for the crew, the way the vehicle fights, but most importantly as recce soldiers is what it's reporting on.
So as armoured recce, we're likely to wrecking for enemy forces to call in artillery targets.
24-year-old Charlie Lane Fox is one of the junior officers on the course.
Switch round.
There's so many more moving parts. There's just a lot more to think about. The whole curve is steep, but really, really worth it.
Charlie recently graduated from officer training. Passing the course is the next crucial step in his career.
This is the main culmination of it all, so this is the final exercise. It's a lot more rope to hang yourself with. There's standards you got to get to, so touch wood, we all make it.
Do your weapons and walks before you run off. When you've completed the task that I put your name to, just give it a tick.
Another tank commander candidate is Corporal Sean Jones.
I joined the army in 2007 at the young age of 16. I did 12 years as a vehicle mechanic. Just wasn't for me anymore, so I decided to jump ship.
Unlike Sandhurst graduate Charlie, Sean has moved up the ranks from driver to gunner and now hopefully to commander. Tomorrow, they both face a make-or-break final exercise.
We would then be looking to use space to recce delay positions.
Lead instructor Archie is briefing them.
So it's assessed that the enemy is going to do an advance within our AO, and our mission is to delay.
Everything has been building to this test. To qualify as tank commanders, they must complete it.
See if I can pass this. Otherwise I've wasted 4 months of my life.
Back in London, it's the first full rehearsal for Trooping the Colour. Bringing together the cavalry, band and guards. It's a crucial day for new drum horse Willa Rose.
So this is the first time she'll be out with the drums on. First parade with troops as well. So we'll see how she takes it all in.
Just pop it up like that, it's all right. All right.
But the man in charge, Lieutenant Colonel James Shaw, has an unexpected problem with his own horse, Shadow.
He just seems to have developed a bit of a phobia against the bearskins, so it's going to be a challenge getting on. Do you feel a little bit nervous?
I don't know when to pass it up from the front or the back. All right, Shadow. All right, good boy. I haven't got any hands on, okay? Good boy, Shadow. Good boy.
So what happened last time you saw the bearskin then?
He just really wasn't happy, and he was very edgy and moving around a lot. So it just means we get a bit nervous, then he gets a bit nervous, and it can quickly spiral out of control.
The cavalry arrives with the foot guards already in position. Shadow's phobia is hardly unusual, as some horses don't like bearskins, which is why they were first worn on the battlefield, to intimidate the enemy cavalry. Shadow's keeping it together so far. But for Willa Rose, it's the critical test. If she's spooked, her career could be over before it starts. Despite a few nerves, she's standing firm. Finally, it's the horse guard's turn.
We're getting a bit close to the barriers here.
On the first corner, the horses are running out of room. And Vern is spotting other faults too.
Just putting the mounted band start to play at the right time, question mark. I think they were too late.
With 2 weeks to go, he still has a huge amount to do. But the marks are in for Willa Rose.
She did very well. Lots of tall soldiers with bearskins on is quite intimidating for any horse, and she didn't really bat an eyelid. And, you know, we'll look forward to the next few rehearsals.
Trooping the colour is the pinnacle of the cavalry's ceremonial duties.
Time is 06:55.
But as elite reconnaissance soldiers, they must also be ready for combat at any time. So regular training is essential. This morning on Salisbury Plain,
So, battlefield discipline.
having joined the army at 16 and worked his way up through the ranks,
Gunners, operators, make sure you're scanning your arcs at all times, assisting your commander, making sure you're making his life easy.
Corporal Sean Jones faces a must-pass test to qualify as a tank commander.
Everyone happy?
Sean will be second in command of a troop of 4 armoured vehicles.
As a troop sergeant, I'll deal with any casualties, any replen issues, and then assist the troop leader in doing his job. And obviously, if worst comes to worst and the troop leader disappears off the face of the earth, then I'll be taking up his role.
Put your foot down a bit more speed. Speed, power.
Sean's facing an enemy attack, with the instructors watching every move.
Using a Land Rover to try and follow warriors as you just find yourself bouncing around Salisbury Plain, whereas they glide with the tracks and the suspension they have, whereas we feel every bump.
Armoured reconnaissance means operating behind enemy lines. The first challenge Sean's troop face is a bridge crossing.
You're channeled into a vulnerable point. The enemy will know that that obstacle is there as well. That's not good.
Sean's off to the worst possible start. His vehicles have stopped in a highly exposed position.
They need to be decisive. If they sit and wait, then that increases the chance of enemy contact and potentially waiting to destroy them on the bridge.
The enemy, played by Land Rovers, takes advantage of this mistake and moves into position near the bridge. As the warriors attempt to cross, the enemy opens fire.
Keep going back. Keep going back. Go on, power, power.
The enemy have been observing them during the crossing, and Corporal Jones, somewhere in the troop, is going to get a casualty.
2 times been on the end. We're advancing upon the road towards my position and engaged and shot the commander over. 0, confirm that's your commander, that's the casualty, Edward. That's correct. Gunshot wound, left arm. Roger, I'm on my way to your location.
With the troop leader down,
Yeah, go power up.
Sean is now in command of 4 armoured vehicles.
It's really, really high pressure, and we're quite apprehensive to see how this part goes, because this will be make or break for him.
Sean heads to recover his wounded commander, picks him up and races to deliver him to the medics.
So far, so good for Corporal Jones. What's been impressive is the ability to handle the amount of information that came to him in a short space of time and make a pretty quick, decisive plan on how to extract the casualty.
Come on, let's go! Let's go, let's go! So, Sergeant, what have we got?
One time's casualty, his mechanism of injury was a gunshot into his left arm. Time of wounding, 14-18.
With the exercise complete,
Corporal Jones, close him.
Instructor Archie is waiting to give Sean his final assessment.
How are we getting on? We're good?
Yeah, really good.
Nice. From our point of view, I thought it was a really, really strong performance. We've got the vehicle commanding down to a T. We're happy fighting the fight. Good contact reports. A lot of individuals here that will look to you, step up and take that lead.
Yeah.
After 16 years in the army and 4 months intensive training, Sean Jones is now a tank commander.
So what are you going to do now?
Food, spam wrap, and get some sleep.
Sean can relax, but fellow candidate Charlie Lane Fox still faces his final test. Trooping the Colour is one of the world's most iconic military displays, and the Household Cavalry play a vital role. But before they can join the parade, every raw recruit must go through intensive horse riding training. This morning, at the Cavalry Training Wing in Windsor, a new class is starting.
Everyone happy? Cool. To your duties. Oh! Oh!
Under the command of Lance Corporal Charlie Garish.
It can be very demanding. They've got 14 weeks to learn basically how to walk, trot, canter. They come from all sort of walks of life. Not many have actually worked with horses before or even sat on a horse. Week 1, day 1 of the riding lesson. Hopefully no one falls off. That's the biggest achievement.
In this class of 13, Trooper Lois Norton is the only female trainee.
I had no riding experience previously before coming here.
Good. Watch the horses. They might start misbehaving now, so keep an eye on them.
I'd seen horses around, and maybe if there's one on a farm near me, I'd feed it an apple or something, but nothing more than that. They still scare me, though.
This first lesson will show Lois and her classmates the basic commands for controlling a horse.
If we squeeze both our legs, where do you think they're going to go? Forward, because they've got nowhere else to go. They're trying to avoid it and go, right, I'll go forward. That is our acceleration. In the military, we like uniformity. So, there should be a distance of 4 foot between your horse's nose and the horse's bum in front of you.
In just 5 months, these novices could be riding at the biggest state events. But not all of them will make it through.
Every time you sit on a horse and you're in uniform, act like you're on parade. What's the regiment's worst nightmare at the minute? TikTok, yeah? They're everywhere. There's cameras everywhere, okay? You're in a regiment that's always in the limelight.
Having learnt how to start, Lois now needs to learn how to stop.
You'll squeeze and pull the right rein till they stop. Everyone happy?
Yes, Corporal.
It's like a pantomime, isn't it? So, ride, hold, squeeze and pull that right rein. Well done. Make much. So when I say make much of your horses, give them a little scratch on the mane. Always reward them. Don't get rewarded enough in the army. Good. Walk on.
To end their first lesson, Charlie has a surprise for the class.
And lean back and try and kick yourself in the face. Flexibility. Hey! We get them to sort of roly-poly as a confidence exercise. They sort of have a laugh about it, which relaxes them.
Right, leaving the school!
At the moment, since we're all getting to grips with riding, especially learning to ride with each other, not everything's in sync. But when I'm watching the parades, they're all in sync, they all move off at the same time, and they're all wearing full state kit. It's amazing. I can't wait to be there.
If Lois passes the course, this time next year, she could be riding in Trooping the Colour. But on the cavalry's operational side, one of the ultimate goals is becoming a tank commander. Today, for his final test, Second Lieutenant Charlie Lane Fox faces an enemy attack. To pass, he must slow them down.
The delay is a crucial defensive operation that allows us to trade space for time. So it's a really, really complex maneuver, the hardest that we do on this course.
So it's going to be carnage.
The enemy advance begins, quickly spotted by Charlie.
Go unit 5-4, 2-1 up, send it over. One of our mission, target location, uniform Tango 005, target description will be package of enemy vehicles, effect required will be destroyed for 2 minutes on my command. 2-1 upper, fire now, over.
Orange smoke is released to simulate Lane Fox's artillery explosions. But he's failed to knock out the enemy.
Right, hold. Stop the engine. Right, driver, reverse.
Charlie orders his vehicles to fall back.
Left, on, right, on,
They reverse so the gunners can keep eyes on the advancing Land Rovers.
Right, big, right, big, right.
But the enemy manages to sneak past. It's a fatal mistake. Instructor Archie Thornton-Berry has seen enough.
Charlie 1 at T0 Alpha. Roger, right, we're going to reset that serial. I don't know what went wrong there.
They lost sight of the enemy, but then they also the enemy got between them and where they were trying to fall back to. And so that would have been a pretty catastrophic ending.
It's Charlie's last chance to get it right.
Okay, that's on target, looking down that way. Okay.
4 months' hard work now depends on keeping the enemy in his sights to stop the attack.
Fire mission packet of enemy vehicles. Destroy for 2 minutes on my command. 2-1 Alpha, fire now, over. Gold Julius 5-4, 2-1 Alpha, on target, fire for effect, over. Gold Julius 5-4, 2-1 Alpha, target destroyed, end of mission, over. It's my assessment that now the enemy first advance has been blunted.
Charlie will now find out if 4 months of dedicated commitment has finally paid off.
Mr. Lane Fox, this is the end of your time on the Commander's course. An excellent action to finish, a highly competent overall, which rounds off your performance as definitely up the upper echelons of the course and exactly what we wanted to see. So from us and the team, we're very, very happy with your progression, so well done.
Thank you very much. It's good to end it there.
Back at the central London barracks, with just 1 week until trooping the colour.
You've got shit all over the back of your fucking trousers, that needs to come on.
The full dress rehearsal is about to start. The Prince of Wales will be inspecting the rehearsal, so Willa Rose is wearing special drums reserved for royalty.
This is the first time Willa's been out on parade in the silver drums, so it's a big day. It's a hot one as well.
The temperature is due to reach 34 degrees, the hottest day of the year.
The heat is going to make a lot of this struggle. It's going to be difficult, you know.
It may be a rehearsal, but there's a full house on Horse Guards Parade. And with royalty attending, despite the dangerous heat, the show must go on.
Obviously, everybody's been told to hydrate, but I have no doubt that today there'll probably be 1 or 2 people that might not make it to the end.
The tunics are very thick. You've got heavy tweeds, which are our trousers, and then the bearskin itself. They maintain heat like a fur jacket would. As soon as you switch off, that's when you forget to wiggle your toes, you forget to tense your arms, and then before you know it, you found yourself on the floor having fainted, and that is your worst nightmare.
The Guards and Cavalry are performing well. But after almost 2 hours on parade, the extreme heat is taking its toll.
The heat started to affect more people than it usually would.
If somebody says they're going to pass out, the guys left and right of him try and hold him up. But sometimes you can't do it and you just let him go.
It was as we were waiting for the march off that you could see more and more stretchers coming onto the parade. There were points where you were thinking, I could be next.
I believe there was some 14 soldiers at some point passed out due to the heat. It's quite a high number, to be honest.
The heat does affect proceedings because it makes it harder work for everybody. The uniforms we wear, they're quite hard work anyway. You add the heat, and you know, you're asking people to do quite a lot of activity over a short amount of time, and then we're asking them to stand still for a bit. It's all about blood pressures and people keeping focus, and the moment you switch off, then there's an opportunity for your body to shut down and faint.
But with a week to go, the forecast is for even hotter weather on the day itself.
And what's the key to staying upright?
There is none. Hope for the best. Don't be soft. Be wet. Just don't go down, innit?
There you go. Let's get you on the walker. Yeah.
It's 2 days until King Charles's first Trooping the Colour as monarch. And drum horse Willa Rose has an appointment at Clarence House.
A tradition that was started with the drum horses is to let the royal family name them. It's a great honour.
Queen Camilla has chosen the name Juno for Willa Rose. She's now officially the first female cavalry drum horse. Back in Windsor, the rookies hoping to graduate as horse guards are 5 weeks into their 14-week training.
I quite like the horses now. Didn't used to be honest.
For Trooper Lois Norton, learning to ride is proving to be a huge challenge.
I was struggling at first. I've never been around horses before. I'd say it's because I was quite nervous, so I was a bit stiff. They keep telling you to relax, but it's easier said than done.
Today, Lois's class faced the biggest test of their riding skills so far.
So today's lesson, we are going to try and get the entire ride canter together.
In charge is instructor Daniel Pacey.
There's a lot of people that have not really got much experience, so cantering might be good, it might not be. It's a bit unpredictable.
In the cavalry, learning to canter brings a surprising reward.
They have to earn their stirrups. When they can canter on both reins for 3 to 5 laps with ease and no one falling off and everything going nice and smooth, then that's when they earn their stirrups.
And stirrups will at least make getting on easier.
Ride, prepare to canter. Ride, canter. London, go forward. Forward, come on, kick, 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 kick.
Cantering, the natural speed for a horse between a trot and a gallop, is an essential skill every horse guard must master. But the class are finding it tough.
Get his right legs on, Taylor. What are you doing? Right, you're in there now, aren't you? Go. Left leg, right leg on, right leg on. Where are you going, Taylor? Where are you going? Ride more. Taylor, you are doing nothing on top of this horse right now. You're sitting there and letting him take control. Come on, Norton. Look, you're doing it again. Outside track. Tell him.
Lois is struggling to keep control.
If she does anything like that, you have to tell her off. When I say tell her off, I mean give her a hit. Okay, look at that. Go on, look. She's thinking about it already. Big right leg, big right leg. Get out there. Get out there now. Get back over there. Right leg, right leg. One more lap, one more.
After a tricky start, Lois is getting the hang of it.
Well done, Norton. Keep it there.
With their first canter lesson a success, the students are a step closer to Horse Guards Parade.
Discount! Right, leaving the school.
I was loving it actually towards the end, yeah. Confidence is a big part of it. Now, if I tell her where to go, it goes.
In London, the big day is finally here.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
After weeks of preparation, there's less than an hour until the historic parade begins.
One more of you jump up there. So Stella, jump up there, please. Everyone just shuffle along slightly.
The King's Birthday Parade is a big event. We don't have a national day. The closest we get to every single year is the King's Birthday Parade, and that's got to be absolutely right and immaculate.
3, 2, 1.
The household division need to deliver a performance fit for a king.
Been a long 8 weeks, hasn't it? All the boys are licked now, we just want to get it done, get it out the way. We've been doing kit, late night, early mornings, been working every Saturday for the last 4 weeks.
The weight of the day will obviously be an added pressure. All the people that have done this before me, you always want to live up to that standard that they've had. All the guardsmen, everyone involved, put so much towards this, so I think it'll be a phenomenal day, and I'm very excited just to get out there and get it done, yeah.
Drum horse Juno, formerly Willa Rose, has an impressive new outfit to go with her new name.
So this is all of their gold kit. They're worth about 25 grand. Every officer has their own gold kit, but because the horses are also majors, they also wear it as well.
This is the first King's Birthday Parade in 72 years. The ceremony is being broadcast live. And with millions watching around the world, Major Juno is playing her part perfectly. It's also Ensign Freddie Hopkinson's moments of truth.
Were you nervous? Oh yeah, very nervous. There are a few things that can go pretty wrong at that point. Trooping the colour is so important because it's kind of intertwined into the fabric of our country. To some people it will seem absolutely ridiculous, but there is nothing that fills you with as much pride as being on that parade square. And it's something that I won't ever forget.
It's a difficult job to do, being the ensign, because you are the focus and everybody is looking at you, and I thought he was faultless. He did a fantastic job. The first King's Birthday Parade in 72 years was fantastic. It was faultless from where I was watching the parade, so I think it was a job well done.
To celebrate, Vern is hosting lunch in the Sergeant's Mess. And there's even better news for him today.
King's Birthday Honours List were announced at midnight last night, and I was fortunate enough to be appointed as an Officer of the Order of the British Empire. So I'm over the moon, I'm absolutely delighted. I couldn't be happier. The Army is great for giving opportunities, and it certainly gave me an opportunity leaving school at 16 with hardly any qualifications from my council estate in Shropshire, and I find myself 35 years later as a Garrison Sergeant Major being awarded the OBE. It's incredibly special just to be recognised. It just fills me with pride. I'm so happy. I'm bursting with pride. I'm so happy.
Next time, we reveal secrets from inside the officers' mess.
It's written into mess rules that lifeguards may have their dogs in the dining room and Blues and Roars may not.
Rookie tank drivers reach the end of the road.
Right, come left, stop.
Oh, shit. All I heard was stop, stop, stop.
And trainee troopers finally let go of the reins.
This my help.